The loser. Chad needed to be at school in half an hour and he couldn't find his homework. He searched in the kitchen table, his backpack, under his bed, nothing. Frustrated, he yanked open the refrigerator to get breakfast. There, leaning against a crowded meal, was his science report. I must have left it where I was making a snack yesterday, Jay thought. Why can't I keep track of my stuff? Over breakfast, Jay finished up his homework. He scribbled a sentence about his favorite dinosaur, Microtop, and rushed to school. After school, Jay stood at his front door and patted his pockets. Where are my keys? He wondered. He carefully searched his backpack. They aren't there. What now? Jay thought. His parents won't be home for another hour. Just then, Ron, the man who lived next door, walked past and nodded to Jay. Jay had never really talked to Ron, who seemed kind of quiet. But he's a good friend of Dad's, Jay thought to himself. He remembered the many times he had quietly watched Dad and Ron playing. Dad and Ron playing cards together, and I can't just wait out here for an hour, Jay thought. Jay marched to Ron's door and knocked. When it opened, Jay said, Hi Ron, I've lost my key and my parents aren't home. Could I wait here with you? Sure, Ron said. Inside, Jay noticed a baseball on the shelf and went over to examine it. Ron smiled when he saw Jay peering at it. That was a sign in 27 Minnesota Twins right after the word serious. Dad takes me to their games sometimes, Jay said. Where did you get this? I got during my final year before I retired, Ron answered. I was a professional umpire for 30 years. Jay's eyes widened as he asked, an ump in the 80s? Did you ever meet? He began to pepper Ron with questions. Grinning, Ron answered them. He told Jay funny stories about famous players, the things they said, and their good luck charms. When it was time for Jay to return home, he asked Ron, Can I come again sometimes? Sure can, Ron said, smiling. Wow, losing my key turned out okay, Jay thought. As he walked home. The next day at school, as everyone else headed to recess, Jay rummaged through his desk. Oh no, not again, he groaned. Need help? Said a voice. Jay looked up to see Martina, the new girl in school, standing beside him. I might, Jay said. I've lost my dinosaur book. Sorry, I haven't seen it, said Martina. I have a really good one here, though. If you want to borrow mine, she pulled out an illustrated dinosaur encyclopedia. That's the same one I use, Jay exclaimed. Are you into dinosaurs too? Yeah, said Martina, smiling. This was my birthday present this year. What's your favorite dinosaur? Have you heard of Microraptor? Asked Jay. They're tiny but speedy. Chattering together, they went outside to recess. Do you want to hang out at the park after school? Jay asked her. Martina agreed. After school, they spent several hours at the park, talking about dinosaurs and tossing Jay's favorite baseball around. Martina's pretty cool, Jay thought as he went home. And it's pretty cool that she likes the same book I lost. The next morning was Saturday, and Jay wanted to do something throwing drills. When he looked for his baseball, he had a familiar sinking feeling. He couldn't find it. Can we go to the park to look for my baseball? Jay asked his mom. At the park, they heard a rustling sound coming from behind a bush. Curious, Jay peered over and saw a thin-looking puppy with a collar or a tag. The stray puppy was chewing hungrily on something round. Jay looked closer. It was his baseball. Mom, look, Jay said, picking up the puppy very gentle. Doesn't he look like he needs a home? His mother smiled, watching them. Yes, he does, she said. He'll be your responsibility, though. Jay nodded excitedly and hugged the puppy closer. What a week, Jay thought to himself, walking home with the puppy in his arms. I've lost my homework, my keys, my book, my baseball. He paused as he realized something. Almost every time he had lost something, he grinned a friend. He thought about Ron and Martina and he patted on the puppy's head. Well, maybe I should lose stuff more often, he told the puppy. Why don't we go see if Ron and Martina want to meet up and play a game of catch?
Good job!